It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, guys. Welcome back and happy 2023. Holy, we made it. As you can see, Jason and I were gone all weekend. I haven't shaved my face. I haven't done anything. I'm going into this year like no shave November except January until later today. All right, guys, we're back to talk about the Real Housewives of Potomac. There wasn't necessarily enough for hot, messy topics, so we're going to do a Potomac recap. And with that, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, and let's welcome Sesame Street.
Okay. Don't start my 2023 like this, okay? No. Wow. That was a great episode. I'm wondering what people in your live chat think about this episode, because I want to ask you what you would rate it.
I would probably honestly give it an 8.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I think an 8 is a good solid number. Like, I feel like Sesame Street Gate kind of gave me life. This poor girl, she thought she was going to have a moment. I think nobody prepped her as to who she was going up against.
I mean,
and I think that was probably the worst. Does my mic sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that was probably the worst person she could have gone up against.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we got to get to that. I'm going to have to give it a 9 though, because after that whole Miami Groupon trip, like I was just ready to be back in Potomac and ready to get into all of the shadiness, to see, Giselle and Robin's show, to go into Karen's show. I'm definitely here for this. And I'm actually here for this next trip. I cannot wait.
I mean, the next trip is going to be so good, but I kind of felt bad. Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very good place to start.
Okay. Kick us off.
All right. So at the beginning, we have Karen, of course. She's like going to see her venue that she's about to do her show in. I just want to go ahead and start this here. I think that Karen had a better idea for a show. I don't know if it necessarily came to fruition completely as she wanted to, but I think the venue was better. It had a more exclusive feel. Of course, the room would feel, good. I just think it was like applicable. It was a good location to do a show. I really do.
I think too, I have to say really quick, where I think Giselle and Robin went wrong was the venue was way too big. And with the venue being so big, it just felt like such an empty space, which kind of, I feel like that messes with the mood a little bit. For example, like when we had our venue in LA, it was huge. It sat 300 plus people, but we filled the entire venue. You know what I mean? That felt good.
Yeah. And I do have to say, if anyone came to Spilling Tea Live last year in April, any of the shows, LA, Nashville, New York, you went to probably the best live podcast show of the year. I think you guys, have to be so proud of that. It was so much fun. And I feel like there was just a lot going on. This is where Karen won, right? She had like things happening, and like there were drinks and food, and you could really sit back and relax and enjoy it, instead of sitting in a seat at a theater. When you're sitting at a seat in a theater, you're expecting to be wowed by whatever's going to be on the stage, not like Giselle doing her dance or asking Robin when she's going to get married, the never ending freaking question, so I think that, yeah.
You know what too, though? I wanted to say, because somebody messaged me, DM'd me, I don't want to say who, but they're in here. And they said, they stole your format for the show, because in Nashville, we had a drag queen, right? Mm-hmm. Performer. In LA, we had comedians open up for us. And then what did we have in New York? It was just us, right? We didn't have an opener.
No, in New York, there was no opener. No.
Yeah, there was no opener. No. It was just like kind of a podcast host panel. But it's not original, guys. Like, it's not.
I mean, it's all been done, right? You can't rewrite
this.
You can rewrite the same story. It's just not what you're doing. It's how you're doing it. And I think here is where Karen achieved, the good on it. I do have to say, we did move on to a conversation between G, Mia, and Jacqueline about the whole showering together thing, about I don't know. Remember, we were talking about this when we were recapping Miami a few weeks back, recapping Potomac when they were on their Miami trip.
Yeah.
And I was like, who cares about the whole Jacqueline Mia thing? I think it's just trying to make it a bigger situation. And I feel like Jacqueline is still trying to audition, just as Deborah was, by making up this lie. But I wanted to ask you what your feelings were on Jacqueline, because I go back and forth. Okay, don't bring that up yet. Please don't bring that up yet. I wonder what your thoughts are on Jacqueline, because she's been pretty integral in the past few episodes, if not most of the season.
I think that Jacqueline is a good support role.
A
The
good
problem
friend
is,
of.
yeah, she's a good friend of, but she's not. Is she my favorite? No. I like the women who come in and they just have like those big dynamic personalities. Like Cherise Zampino, she was a good friend of because she was supporting, right? She was supporting Garcelle, and she had like these
I
fun
didn't think
little like,
Cherise Zampino. I thought it was fun for a minute, but I didn't think she was a great friend.
yeah. But then Marisol Patton is a great friend of. You know what I mean? Like, so there are different tiers. I feel like for Jacqueline, I'm good with her after this season. I think it's fun to see her with Mia, and we're learning new things about her and Mia. I think Mia was trying to get her friend on the show. I just don't think that she's a strong enough standalone housewife personality to be able to come on the show. And
yeah,
it's just she's not my favorite. And Sesame Street Gate is definitely not coming on the show.
Oh my God. Wait, no, we got to hold off on that. I'm so blown away by this. I do have to say though, like Mia did allude to more things happening, and so did Jacqueline. And remember when Giselle was talking to Jacqueline after their show, and
Yes.
she was talking about, oh, you guys showered together? Oh, you played gynecologist or whatever the hell, looking at some stuff with a flashlight. It just like blew it into a bigger thing. But I did feel like Jacqueline and Mia both alluded to something else might have happened with G between them, and it really didn't.
I just feel like there's honestly a lot of, I think we're going for the shock factor here. I think that's
exactly
what it is. We're trying to like Bronwyn Wyndham Burke came out as a full-on lesbian and said, I'm not in love with my husband. I was never in love with him. I just had 50 children with him.
God,
and
Bronwyn.
then, like the shock factor, I think, gets people that's the thing too, is I feel like Mia is really trying this season with this storyline. Her and Jacqueline, like they're really trying to stand out, like, because they don't really have a storyline. Does that make sense? Like if you have, there are other housewives that are just so good, like Alexia Echevarria. I know I keep using our Miami girls, but she's so good that she doesn't need to make up drama for a storyline. You know,
she has enough going on. In fact, they all do, but they all have genuine relationships, where Mia and Jacqueline have a genuine relationship, which is why I feel you think she's a good support to Mia, because she knows Mia. But looking forward into the next episode, when the whole Karen and Charisse thing, well, I don't know if that happens exactly next episode, but we are going into that trip where shit's about to go down.
Right.
You feel, or we see that there is a fallout between Jacqueline and Mia, and Jacqueline is making her rounds with, I'm spending too much time talking about Jacqueline, but I'm just saying she's making her rounds with the women, and I'm curious to see what is going to happen with her in the future. I think she's giving me more than Ascala gave us.
Yes, definitely. But I also feel like she too, just Candace Diller Bassett said this in an interview, and she was like, listen, I like Mia, but I think that Mia is still so wrapped up in the popularity contest of it all, and trying to be like front and center all the time, that it just reads like exactly what Krista Marie said. They are definitely trying.
They're trying. I mean, we talked about this. Was it last week or the week before? No, was it last week? When did we talk about Potomac? You know, when Mia comes into a room, there's not like, hey, I'm Mia, I'm here. It's like, hello. You know, no one's giving you that attention, girl. Like, just calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down. Max said, and I kind of agree with you, Max, she should be at the reunion. And I think she will be.
I think she'll be at the reunion. I mean, she has enough where Andy Cohen would want to ask her about this whole relationship and what is that dynamic really. And Jacqueline and Mia are no longer friends. They don't talk to each other anymore. So I think that would be even more of a reason to bring her to the reunion. But they always have to try to focus on keeping the housewives looking good if they want to keep them around. So they might try to not bring her in because of that, because they don't want to make Mia look bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't know.
I don't know either, and I also don't know, since we're talking about storylines and trying to like keep up with the drama and trying to make people look good and not look good. You have Ashley, who is just coming to town with like the worst shit. Remember when she said, I don't know who leaked this to the press about her and Michael's like finalized divorce? Girl, you called all about the tea yourself, probably. I'm just allegedly, maybe I'm just speculating that you were the one who probably did that. It got like leaked out early. 100%, just as she's trying to push this narrative that her friend Deborah, and I agree with Mia here, You're definitely a 4, girl. No one's coming your way. Definitely no one is coming your way.
That's so
But
mean.
I'm just saying, like, okay, what's mean is you're alluding to the fact that Chris Bassett came up to a bar and inched his elbow towards you when you just got debunked by production. None of what you said happened. You said hello to Chris. That's about as far as it went. And then you have Ashley who's pushing this narrative. Oh, and then there's Eddie, Happy Eddie or Smiling Eddie, whatever they called him.
She said, not Happy Eddie.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened. So I feel like we're reaching for a storyline when I think maybe Ashley is just, since she sons Michael this season, just
you know what though? I think that this girl was an easy pawn. I think she was an easy pawn, and I think that she kind of reeks of desperation. And the reason I'm going to say, let me bring up a video really quick.
Good Lord. While you bring that up, Giselle and Robin are the worst.
Hold on, I'm going to bring this up really quick. Guys, I don't know if you saw, so she got called Sesame Street, right, by Candace. Candace obviously was not having Deborah, okay? She didn't know what the hell she was there for. She's like, this is the girl who's trying to pretend or say that my husband is out here trying to step out on me and that he's being all funny and whatnot. Then she took this. If somebody called me Sesame Street, I'd be like, ooh. But she took this and now she's trying to get more attention with it. And it was on Reality Rundown this morning. Guys, don't forget to smash that like button. Show us some love. Let me bring this up. It's honestly embarrassing. Here we go.
Oh, excuse me while I fluff my natural eyebrow. Okay. Oh, thank you, Elmo. So sweet.
This looks like...
What the hell is going on?
What the...
I get a little hungry in the morning. Oh! Hello, Miss Deb. I got a cookie for you.
Do you think she went out and bought these puppets?
Yes, 100% she did.
Thank you so much, Cookie Monster. Thank you. I love my friends. I'm a little thirsty, though.
Girl, thirsty for attention.
This reeks of desperation.
Wow.
Cookie Monster,
How much do you think that put
getting
her back?
emotional? Why?
$60 for all those?
Because it's the new year. It's very exciting. Oh, let me help. Let me help you. You fold this napkin up. Happy New Year, everyone.
No, we're done with you.
Doing the napkin fold, the Candace napkin fold. No, girl. No.
Oh,
Waste of your
that what
time
that
and
was?
money. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Speaking of Candace Diller Bassett and Chris, we just had Chris on Hot Messy Podcast. So if you guys haven't checked it out, go over to Hot Messy Podcast exclusively on YouTube. If you want to get the video version, and if you just want to listen to it anywhere you get your podcast, you can check that out. But
funny how that correlates with what this episode that just happened.
I mean,
that discussion we had with Chris, and we didn't even know that episode was coming out or that was going to happen. And it's a great listen. That was a good listen.
I just don't see Chris stepping out on. This is such.
Let's listen to Mia. Okay, there are different tiers. Let's go by numbers. I think Mia was spot on with the numbers. All right, and usually you stay in your own number zone. Like, an 8 probably would go with a 9 or a 7, and 9 might go with an 8 or a 10.
Like such a dick thing to do, to like rate people, because I feel like it's so mean to do that. But
very Facebook, yes.
But if you're going to be confident enough to come in and say, your husband's checking me out, like, of course, yes, someone is going to rip into you. And I thought it was really funny too, because when Ashley was like, Candace, why can't you, why are you being rude to my friend? Why are you can't hear her out? You can't listen to her? And Candace was like, no, goodbye. And she's like, you are messy as hell. But I thought it was, Candace held all of the cards and all of the power by not giving them anything, which is
complete eloquence, right? Like, no, girl, I don't have time. That's the friend who's accusing Chris of that? Girl, bye. Sit down, done. Like, I get it. And she didn't have to react. She didn't have to give her the time. Why would she have to give her the time? Please.
So now we're alluding to Eddie and Chris both having wandering eyes.
Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting about Eddie. Yeah.
Happy Eddie. Then there's Chris. Does
what happened with Eddie?
Eddie
came up and he smiled at me. No, girl. No, it's crazy. This is crazy.
That's why
how do you think this played out? If you're calling her a pawn, do you think Ashley went to her and is like, you have to say that something happened at the rooftop. You have to say that this happened. Do you
Yeah.
think that's what was being played? Ashley's smarter than that. She shouldn't have.
You know, I got the feeling from Chris in our interview, because at the end of the day, what people forget is that even Chris being one of the husbands of the show, like Deandra Simmons, when I interviewed her mom from Real Housewives of Dallas, Deandra came up to me at BravoCon and she said, "You got me fined. I got fined because of you, because you interviewed my mom." But her mom does not have a contract with Bravo. However, it goes back on Deandra, which at the time that I did the interview, I wasn't aware of that. Chris can get his wife in a lot of trouble with Bravo if he just goes out here and starts like breaking the fourth wall or giving, too much information as to what's going to happen, how the season's going to play out. He can get fined, he can get his wife fined, and he could potentially get her to lose her job. So when we were talking to him, I was trying to ask him, and so were you, do you think that this was like a contrived storyline from before the season started? Like they chose, okay, we're going to go in on Chris this season. The women got together and they're like, Chris is the guy. Or do you think that, this girl really felt like you were probably hitting on her? And he's like,
I think this all, do you remember how they all decided that they're going to talk about the Monique Samuels cheating thing and all that stuff? Remember that, how Giselle was it was after the Andy Cohen's baby shower. And they were all at Tom discussing this. Okay, so I feel like this is what happened again, because look at Giselle and Robin this season. It's desperate for anything. Let's do a show and let's do something. You have Robin's storyline is really like whatever. You have Giselle and Robin playing Nancy Drew, trying to figure out like why Mia's looking at Jacqueline's vagina. Like it's like crazy. Now you have Ashley. Michael's no longer in the picture. Something dropped in the press. Oh my gosh. Now I have no storyline. Here's my friend Deborah. It all reeks of desperation with those three women. It's just like last night when Robin walked into Karen's show late, or almost before it was, going to start, and then sits down and tells Candace, that's the friend who was talking about you. And that's it. That's all she had to do. And I give props to Robin for becoming housewife, but desperate. 3 desperate housewives this season.
3 desperate housewives. No, and honestly, too, we're watching it, and Chris made a good point in our interview with him when he was talking about how, and this is, I'm not trying to just like blow smoke up anybody's ass or like kiss anybody's ass here. These are facts. So the facts, if you look at them, you have Candace, who is doing a music video with Trina, which is massive, right? And then you have her booking movie roles. You have her on Netflix, you have her on different networks, and then you have her going to school. She's trying to have a baby. She's going through an IVF journey. They just bought a house. She comes with her mom. Her mom also sometimes can be a lot of energy, a lot of personality, which adds to the dynamic because she's funny as hell and she doesn't back down from anybody. So you have a lot of moving components within her and Chris and their storyline where it doesn't really seem like they have to try as hard. And then when you go over to like Robin, and again, this is not shade, I think Robin is kind of like the Teddy Mellencamp of Potomac. I feel like there's 100%. Just not a lot. She's stepping into it a little bit more this season, but I feel like there's not a lot of storyline.
I believe Giselle when she says that Chris, made her feel some kind of way, just as much as I believe this Deborah girl that Chris came up to her and said something. I mean, I feel like this is all, you chose a target.
Yeah.
It's just, It's obvious. Not like, oh, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. It's just plainly obvious.
Yeah. And I honestly, even Mia Thornton, like Mia at least brought in a friend, and sure, that some people will find that interesting that she hooks up with her friend hooks up with her man. They have like threesomes.
They didn't though. That's not what they said. That's not what they said. Right.
But that's what they're trying to allude to. So I feel like that is even more entertaining because you're throwing yourself under the bus. Nobody's going to accuse G. By the way, he's navigating this really smart. Nobody's going to accuse G of cheating because he's like, we're open. We have people in and out of our bed all the time. Like she likes to watch, I like to watch. Like it's a whole thing. So nobody's going to be like, ooh, Mia, did you know that G was out here in these streets cheating on you and whatnot? Like how they do, like they're doing to Chris. And, so he's safe. Juan Dixon is smart because he keeps his ass away from all of them. He's like, I don't trust you guys. I'm not going near you. I don't want to be a part of the drama. And then there's Chris. Because Michael Darby's gone. So with Michael Darby Eddie though too, Ebony Dix made a good point. Eddie's been accused of having wandering eyes for 3 seasons now.
Accused being the key word because I mean, we haven't really seen it,
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. You know, like it's strange. Sorry.
what?
I laughed so much last night. The Sesame Street character, I was dead.
I
Like,
mean,
where did you
her
come up with
reads,
that?
she says it in her tagline. My vocals are clean, but my reads are for filth. And it's like, she didn't lie. She really
Yeah.
is like, she is the last person I would probably want to verbally go up against. I think that's, I mean, that's why people start throwing shit, because when you lose the conversation in an argument and you can't kind of back it up with words anymore, you just start getting violent. That's why people like, I don't know. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
listen, I also have to go pan over to Robin and Giselle, who are the troublemakers of the season for sure, right? Complete troublemakers. I'm they just put themselves, they insert themselves where not needed. It's like we don't need a comma or a period here in the sentence, yet you're putting it there. You know, so that's how I feel when they show up because they have nothing else better to do. It's funny when Robin was talking to Karen about doing her show, and Karen is like, well, all the Ladams, as they call themselves, and lots of different housewives have different people who, you know, are fans of them and have different names and stuff. And she's like, Ladams, are they people? And it's like, do you have any Robins? Is
Eh,
anyone waiting in line to come see Reasonably Shady? Is anyone behind Robin Dixon and can't wait to find out when the wedding date is? It's just, it's not happening. And it's just funny how they keep inserting everything. But I love how Giselle and Robin started going in on Karen's show almost before it even started. Oh, what's going? Where's Karen? Where's Karen? Why isn't Karen up here? Oh, is she telling jokes? Like, what's happening? You know what I mean? And yes, it wasn't a show completely focused on Karen, let's say, but it was a lot more entertaining than watching TikTok videos and asking Robin when the hell she's going to get married.
right. And also, though, too, it's still a show. They put on a show, or Karen put on a show. I think it's so funny, too. She's always sitting, even at BravoCon. She's sitting. It's like, she's like, I'm not going to stand around for this shit. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to talk to you guys and answer your questions or whatever. But I thought it was a good show. And I thought it was smart the way that she navigated the venue. And yes, but Karen was guilty of doing the exact same thing. She came with a notebook of, you know, with a list. She came prepared to shade the hell out of them and make a list of
Yes.
what not to do for her show. So they all do it to each other. And the funny thing about Giselle and Karen, they have this interesting relationship where they make great TV because they know that they challenge each other. It's like Sonia and Luann.
They're
Like,
great.
they
No,
challenge each other,
honestly,
they fight, they come back.
and here's the thing, I give Giselle a lot of shit, but Giselle and Karen, I love their competitiveness. I love their dynamic. I love their, you know, I think it's really funny how Karen has a better relationship with Giselle's daughters than she does Giselle. I really just, they are, you know, they're staples on the show.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
And
The
we got
show
to give
is
it to
what is,
Karen
but
here too, okay? Like, as much as she was taking notes, and this is what a good performer does. Let's take notes of what not to do. Let's go see other shows before, you know, just to kind of get an inkling on what the audience wants or how they're going to react. Karen does have stage presence. She
I
has
didn't know that.
she has a lot of presence. I mean, if you saw her at BravoCon, like she has stage presence. She
No,
can
I'm
get on a
saying we
stage
didn't we
and
didn't do that before we did our live show. But also, just to be fair, I was terrified to do the live shows, and I didn't want to make it seem like, and we had these conversations, I didn't want it to seem like we were copying anybody else's shows. That's why I didn't go watch anybody else's shows before doing ours. Because
exactly.
I feel like at that point, you're either, you see something that you like and you want to mock it, but then you're stealing from them, or you're, you know what I mean? Like, we just had Heather McDonald accuse NBC of stealing Juicy Scoopers, right? Or Scoopies? What was it?
Yeah, I mean, like, if you want to talk about that, though, I mean, there's always been like, get the scoop or what's the scoop? You know what I mean? Scoop is not a word that someone owns, right?
Unless she has Juicy Scoop trademarked or copyrighted.
Then
But
I think you have to
also,
put both of them in there, right? I'm
yeah,
not sure.
because
I mean, I think that's, you know, when that guy that Heather McDonald was accusing, I forgot his name, but
Justin
he was on her
Sylvester.
show many times, and like you could see how you would get that idea from Heather, but also like in a world of media, you have to be creative. And this is what, going back to Spilling Tea Live, what you said, you guys didn't watch anyone before. You didn't really, study anything. You just let it be. And every city was so different that we didn't know every time what exactly it was going to be. And I think that's what maybe had made it special.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, no, I get that. I get that. But speaking of Karen too, really quick, I want to talk about this for a second.
Lord have
That
mercy.
greatjuice.net came out with this photo, and I am all about it. This shit is about to hit the fan, okay? We're going on another cast trip, which they've gotten some good ones. I mean, well, kind of. Miami was like a little, but this is going to be a fun one. We get a cast trip, and everything is about to come to a head. Now, we have Jacqueline and Mia, where she just did an interview saying that they're no longer friends anymore, so obviously shit hit the fan. You have Charisse, who Karen, the way Karen is getting as upset as she is, it makes you wonder, what does Charisse have on you, right? So what are your predictions going into this?
I don't know. I don't know if it's like, is it more infidelity? What did I just say? Infidelity, accusations.
She's accusing Karen of hooking up with what she's
stepping out. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, we've been there, done that.
Yeah.
So I'm really sure, like, I'm not sure what exactly she has or if it will come out. But the way they got so heated so fast in that preview, it has to be something big. You don't see Karen stand up like that. I've never seen Charisse like that. I mean, yeah, a little bit. But like, ooh, this is making me want to watch. And I'm more interested in why Jacqueline and Mia are not friends anymore and what happened. And is this trip exactly where it happened? I'm more curious than seeing Robin the rest of the season.
Let me see if I can look this up real quick.
Not even trying to be shady. It's just true.
Wait, what did you say about Robin?
I said I'm more excited to see why Jacqueline and Mia aren't friends than seeing Robin for the rest of the season. Unless there's some wedding. Are we getting a wedding this season from Robin?
We're not getting a wedding.
Or are we saving that for next year's storyline?
She said that they are no longer friends. We're not friends. And she said that she's tired of excusing Mia's negative behavior. Let me see if I could just bring this up really quick.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm just going to pull this up.
Pull it up.
No, not you, girl. You go away. Here it is. Guys, don't forget to smash that like button. Happy New Year. Okay, this is what she said.
Happy New Year.
Obviously, when our group here at the Reality Rundown came to Washington, D.C. to your event, you gave us an exclusive that you and Mia were no longer friends. Do you have an update for us?
No, we're currently still no longer friends. And
Ooh.
There's more to it outside of what you all will see on the cameras. I have had personal conversations and reached out to Mia directly, and we have had different issues that have spiraled, honestly, out of control. We are not friends. We are definitely not friends.
Yikes. I wonder if that happened in Riviera Maya.
I mean, we are not friends.
We are not friends. She didn't hold back on that again.
Unless now, hold on. Let's get back to it really quick. Are they now contriving a storyline for next season? That way we bring in Jacqueline as a full-time housewife? Like, is that what we're doing?
Maybe. I mean, I feel like this is an audition season, right? We have Charisse back. You have Jacqueline. Ashley's trying to give Deborah some kind of attention. It's like, what's the point? But as you can see, like Miami, you have what, 5 actual housewives, 6 maybe, and then you have a cast of 9 or 10, right? Am I right on that? Live chat can correct me if I'm wrong. But I feel like Potomac is the same way. You have your pillars, but there's room for all these other friends, ladies. There might be room for another housewife. So I do agree. Potomac is one of those shows like Miami where their friendships, most of their friendships have longevity. Most of them are, very real. So, yeah.
Which, by the way,
feel like
too,
it's like an audition season. Everyone's lining up with their resumes and their headshots and storylines and seeing what can happen. And the thing is it would help Mia to have Jacqueline on next season.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
I think Mia is good TV.
I don't find Mia to be, I don't think she's boring. I just don't find, like, I think that she needs another season. We got to see it from another season standpoint.
I do agree with that. I'm not always a huge Mia fan, but she is good television. I think there's still room with her and a few of the other ladies to either squash things or not squash things. I think that she has to. I always love predicting and having fun with this, and I'm usually always wrong, but I'm like, who's gonna go and who's gonna stay? And Potomac is a show similar to like Miami. You don't need a lot of movement. You have the pillars there, but you do need those extra add-ins. Like Mia is a great like housewife. Jacqueline, I don't know if she would make a great housewife, but she's a really good friend. There's room.
I think that
God, I
feel
hope
like
I'm making sense.
no, you are. Do you remember when they brought Dolores in to film with all of the ladies and she had like a long time background with most of them? So it made sense that she was there. She knew shit. She was like in the loop. I think that if we could find a friend that most of them know, who has the money, has, the personality, and she also has the secrets, I think that would be somebody to bring in. But I think it's so hard now at this point when you bring in newbies and they don't know anything about anyone, then I feel like it's just not authentic. And
well, here's why, and I can't believe I'm talking so much about Jacqueline because I have it in my notes. Don't talk too much about Jacqueline. But here, though, she's making an effort with the other ladies. You know what I mean? She goes out of her way to kind of connect, to talk. And I yes, the little Miami trip had something to do with that, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like the ladies would be open to Jacqueline.
Yeah, I think that they would be open to Jacqueline. I don't know. Again, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait.
We should have renamed this live "Making a Case for Jacqueline."
Making a case for Jacqueline. But if I had to choose between any of the friends, I'm not choosing Deborah.
No,
I'm not
girl.
choosing Jacqueline. I'm choosing Charisse.
To what? Come back?
I mean, if we were to make any of them full time, it would be Charisse.
No.
I think all of the shows need more friends of. Yeah, I agree.
I guess we have to see what happens because so far I thought Charisse coming back would be like this huge thing. But if we have to wait 13 episodes before we see something, I wonder if it's going to be big enough to carry into the next season. It might be. You might have a point there. You might have a point. But I just don't. I don't know.
The only problem is if Charisse is only entertaining because she has this one thing on Karen, it's not going to be entertaining enough for her to come back as a full-time housewife.
Right.
You know what I mean? And she's also very understated. Like when she goes out and about, she doesn't really seem like she tries to do like the big over-the-top glam or anything. Well, then
she put all her money in the champagne room.
She put all of her money in the champagne room. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to the fights and all of the drama going into next week, this week, technically. Guys, I cannot believe it's 2023. It's wild. This is going to be a big month for us. We have a lot to do. And I'm just really excited to kind of not have anywhere to go and just kind of get on track.
For now. Yeah.
For now.
Well, yeah. Happy New Year, everyone. And Potomac is killing it. I'm glad we have this franchise right now.
Me too. I am. And this time, today, next month, I believe it's either February 2nd or February 6th, we get Jersey back, which that is going to be killer. We're also getting Vanderpump Rules back. We're getting Real Housewives of Orange County back. I'm ready to wrap up Salt Lake City. I'm ready to, you know what I mean?
Salt Lake City has been wrapped for a few episodes.
Yeah. And Beverly Hills starts filming in like 2 weeks. So
yikes. Here we go.
All right. Is there anything that we missed?
I don't think so, really. I don't know.
Why the long
I mean,
tie?
Because I was expecting just a little more from Karen's show. I just have to go back. Like, it was good. She has good stage presence, much better than Reasonably Shady. Flowers are a nice touch.
This was me watching.
Great venue. How was everyone watching Karen's show? We were holding our eyes open. But I thought it was kind of like a nice variety show. But remember her friend, her assistant person who was like, cut to Karen Huger, cut to big performance, cut to the singer, cut to the dancers. And I was like, this is a great variety show. It's fun. But like, you can go to West Hollywood for Saturday brunch and see a drag show. Just Karen Huger being there, I guess, was the reason. I don't know.
I mean, look at her front and center right there, though.
I mean,
Karen,
this is a good cast. Every single one of them work out.
Yeah. I'm happy with the cast.
Teddy of Potomac.
I'm happy with Teddy. There you are.
Let's bring Teddy to Potomac.
Let's just demote
Her and Robin
Robin
can make one cast member.
I think we should just demote Robin. Maybe she'll
that
try
would sound a
harder
bad
if we
idea.
demote her.
Well, she's trying this season.
Harder. We need her to get.
Harder.
We need her to get
She's
this
trying
energy.
harder this season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All
All right, guys. That's about it. We have more coming out this week. Of course, more pre-records, and finally, we have all of our shows back. That way, we will be back doing lives. We're going to do Salt Lake City this week. Of course, you guys know we're going to be doing Miami on Friday, so we'll keep you posted. And in the meantime, we'll just be posting away and go vote in the community tab. Let us know what you think, and don't forget to go over to Hot Messy Podcast on the YouTube channel and check out our latest episode with Mr. Chris Bassett. Looks like this. Give it a listen. Give it a like.
Great interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Really fun talk.
All right. Are you good?
Yeah. Am I supposed to do like an outro or something here?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, guys. Well, we hope you enjoyed our recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac. Don't hit. Oh my God. Don't forget to hit that like button.
Okay. Bye from me.
Show
and
us some
Sesame
love.
Street.
Bye.